a multi-threaded operation where you can have multiple things running simultaneously.
Yeah, well, there's different ways to do multi-threading in C#. You know, over time they've come up with new and different. Keep evolving the programming language. In the beginning, I guess you could just open up a new thread, and you had ways. I forget the syntax with that method, but it was an older way of doing it. And then they came up with this thing called the background worker, and the background worker was something that would open up on a new thread. And just dropped my remote. And also, some things just automatically start on a new thread, and that's typically like the communications, like the RS-232 serial port stuff. That will automatically be not on the user UI thread, and then when you, like, say you have a response to a query on the serial port, you get that response back, and it happens in an event because it's it's not synchronous. It's all serial is done. It's on an event. It's not synchronous. It's asynchronous. Anyway, but when you get that back, the response, and if you want to print it out on a say like a text box or something, or control on your GUI, you have to convert it up to your you gotta bring that data into your UI thread, and in order to do that, you usually use a invoke command. You gotta invoke it and use a delegate to do that. And it took me a while to get all that stuff straightened out.
Yeah, that's similar. I have the GUI operating on a separate thread from the speech recognition, because the speech recognition has to go out to the internet and come back again, and messages have to be displayed, and you don't want the speech recognition to be blocking, and so to the messages being displayed. So there's a queue for the display where when certain things happen, it gets put in the queue, and then the queue gets out onto the text box, onto the screen. But stuff can get in the queue and get stuck in the queue if the queue doesn't properly refresh at the time you think it is. So, and being that the time for stuff coming back from the internet can be very variable, stuff can go into the queue, and the queue can never get refreshed, and it just sits there, and so it doesn't display on the screen. So it's nice that it's not blocking. You can get stuff into the queue, but getting it out on the screen into the text box in the right timing has proven to be a pain.
Yeah, it can be. But those are the challenges of doing this stuff. But thinking here, I got my fan that I put in today. It's actually an older fan that I had before, but it was kind of loud because it's a more powerful fan. But what I did before is I took that fan out of the attic, and I put a smaller fan that's quieter, but that didn't really work so well because it just didn't have the power to keep the closet as cool as I would have liked. I mean, it worked, but not good. So anyway, I bought some more duct tubing. And since it's just ventilating the air, it's actually non-insulated ducting, and it was actually pretty cheap. I got it off Amazon anyway. So I put the fan back up, and I moved it over further with the extra duct. I moved it like towards the center of the house, so I can't hear it at all. It's a fairly loud fan, more powerful, and I moved it further away, so now it is really quite good. It's quiet because it's further away. And I actually don't have it on right now. I'm going to plug it in. I'm up to almost 84 degrees in the closet. I don't have an automatic a thermostat switch on this fan. It's on the old one. The other one was a 12-volt fan, so I got to hook something back up to switch this fan. But it's at 84 degrees. I'm going to see how quick it comes back down in temperature here.
Well, that's, yeah, I can imagine that closet could get pretty hot. If you had the big, certainly, if you have the big amplifier running, I could see how that's, could heat that space up. So, but as I recall, last time you said with the old fan, it kept pretty cool.
Well, I don't know if you're going back to when I had this fan installed, and it was installed over the shack, and I could hear it. It wasn't real loud, but it was, I don't know, I could have lived with it, but I decided to go with a smaller fan, and then I wasn't happy with the way that cooled. I mean, it worked pretty good with the solid state amp, but with the OM power, it got pretty warm in the closet, and I didn't like that. Okay, I had plugged it in just a moment ago, and it was at 84 degrees. Now it's at 77 degrees. I got to really test this with the OM power. I got to crank up the OM power and see if it can maintain the temperature. With the small fan, it would maintain the temperature if the amp was just idling with the filament going. But when I started talking, if I started talking like I'm talking now, pretty long-winded, it would get kind of hot in there. Anyway, yeah, so I'm down to like 77 degrees, and heck, the house isn't much cooler. The house is 73 degrees, so it's drawing. It's not that, you know, it would drop faster if it was hotter, you know, because it's drawing in cooler air. The differential is more. I would think it would drop faster, but now that it's 77, it's only like a few degrees warmer, 76 now. It's only a couple, 3 degrees warmer than what's coming in to cool it off. It's got to slow down on how well it cools, but that's okay.
Yeah, well, I mean, you're well with, no matter what, you're going to be well within tolerances. I don't think it'll get so hot as to be a problem, but it would be nice if if it stayed in the 70s. That would be pretty neat. Yeah, my house is 73 now too. That's usually what I keep it on. And this new air conditioner is very quiet, very nice, runs very well. The new unit, so that has worked out very well for me. So, as you would expect, it's a new air conditioner and a new air handler. So that's been great. So I've been very pleased, with that for sure. Anyway, Dave, listen, I'm going to get out of here and go to bed. I am tired. It's been a long couple of days, and maybe I'll catch you tomorrow morning. I called this morning around 10. Nobody answered, so I didn't stay in there. I moved on to other projects. So maybe I'll catch you tomorrow morning. And I'm guessing we'll probably hear Jim one morning. Who knows? Probably he'll just surprise us and come in there. So I certainly hope so. So take care, and hopefully we'll catch you tomorrow. And for PBC, KC4VO, go ahead.
Okay, Bob. Yeah, sorry to bore you with this stuff with the cooling fan, but I'm actually going to turn on the OM power amplifier and do some testing here, see how well it keeps up with the temperature, and I'm going to probably go on 3755, catch those guys, or talk to myself or something, just to test the amplifier. But yeah, I went on there briefly this morning, but I did some programming and stuff, and I wasn't really paying attention to the radio too much, so I didn't hear you on there. But I need to get back into getting on there. It's a lot of fun. So anyway, yeah, I'll probably be on in the morning. No guarantees, but yeah, I gotta start getting back in there. So anyway, have a good night. 7-3, KC4VO and 4PB6.
Okay, very good, Dave. You have a good night too, and I hope to catch you in the morning. So say hi to the guys on 55 for me. We'll catch you later. And for PBC, KC4VO, off and clear, 73.